All right, so welcome back to Best Boys. Ooh, yeah. Oh, okay. Joe, they can't hear that. It's an audio thing. He's taking his fingers and putting them in his mouth. Oh, that's disturbing. Stop it.
It's Halloween Spooktober!
That's right, boys. Welcome to the Halloween Spooktoberween Spectacular. Hello and welcome to our ghoulishly good ghoul boys and ghouls and ghosts and goblins, and we're gonna watch a pretty, from what I can tell on the DVD here, funny games.
Yeah. It's a really fun movie for fun families, as I like to call it.
Yeah, it's the rules are simple. Pick a family and make them play. There's a golf club on there covered in oil, so what I assume is it's kind of like a triathlon, you know.
Yeah.
This is like what they're showing is you got to play, you know, the whole family goes through a wacky adventure, you know.
Yeah, you gotta get your gears in motion.
Yeah, and it's like vaguely it's like super sexist. Like, you know, you do like the Suns one where like you're in like planes, and then, you know, you got to like play video, you got to play your NES and Game Boys.
Yeah.
And then like you do the mother's one where you just do dishes.
Yep, and they make them cook a turkey.
Yep, you got to cook a turkey for 30 seconds in the oven, and then you got to press A when it stops.
Exactly.
And like then you got to stand still and see how many dishes you can wash. And then the dad one here from the cover, I believe that's the cover. It's got a golf club.
Yep.
And it's got gloves that are leaking a black substance.
Exactly. So he loves to go golfing, and he likes to perform enemas, like butt checks on people. He's a doctor.
Yeah.
So you just stick the fingers with your glove, and you go.
See, I was gonna say you work on the car and you get all woolly.
Oh.
But I mean, you've seen the movie. So,
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and we've got Naomi Watts. Name's vaguely familiar.
Yeah,
Tim
she's
Roth,
pretty big.
a little bit more familiar.
Yeah, Tim Roth.
Michael Pitt.
Tarantino.
I don't know if Michael Pitt is Brad Pitt's brother or not. I genuinely don't know.
I'm not sure either. He's a big name, though, I know.
And then Brady Corbett, another vaguely familiar name.
Yeah. So the thing about this one is, it is actually, the director, Michael Haneke. He made this movie in 1997 in German. And then he remade it again in 2007 for American audiences, directly shot for shot. Exact. He got perfect. So this is a shot-for-shot remake of the OG Funny Games with, like, this is a direct response to Hostel, whenever Hostel came out.
I thought Hostel came out in early 2000.
2005, this is 2007.
Oh, the shot-for-shot remake.
Yeah, this is the remake, yeah.
Alright, well, let's, let me go ahead and read off the back here of this family comedy.
Yeah. At
their lakeside vacation home, Anne, Naomi Watts, George, Tim Roth, and their son the son's uncredited. Okay.
Yeah, he's a little kid. Nobody needs him on the back of your DVD.
Two well-spoken, well-bred, young men wearing polite smiles and preppy sportswear bet that you'll be alive tomorrow at 9, and we bet that you'll be dead. In this stark thriller based off the acclaim, as you said, 1997 version, director Michael Haneke creates an ever-tightening sense of suspense balanced on a knife's edge between icy fear and shocking surprise.
Yeah.
Family fights to survive, plan is thwarted, options closed, etc., etc., etc. Funny games you want to play? Sure thing. And we'll be back in just a little bit.
Yep.
And so that was Funny Games.
Yeah.
What a grade A comedy act that was.
Yeah, I showed it to my grandmother, and she said there was too much language.
There really was. I mean...
No, that was for Butcher the Bakers.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because Grandma did not like... Which grandma was it? Was it the
bulky.
shared
It was
grandma?
mine. Yeah, it was bulky. Yeah, no.
Bulk,
and
bulky?
She said... Yeah. She said she thought it would be better.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And then she said, she thought it would be more horror.
But, so, Funny Games... as we should make sure to specify in every episode, we spoil the fuck out of the movies. So if from the intro where we read off the DVD stuff, if that sounds like it's interesting to you, make sure to read it or watch it before you listen to the rest of the episode.
Yeah.
That's what that 15-second silence is for.
Exactly. Well, if you're just listening to a podcast about a movie, how would you not expect them to spoil it?
Yeah.
Exactly. It's on you. This is your fault.
Anyway,
what's wrong with you?
Let's talk about some of our favorite scenes in this movie. The plot line and all that. I'll start off with the opening.
Yeah.
The opening was the entire movie was a shot-for-shot remake of the original German version.
Yes.
And the intro had a very Shining feel to it, a very Kubrick.
Yeah. He got that helicopter shot. He likes them.
Nope, it's them driving out into the woods, and they have some white people music playing, and then it just kicks to just like a screaming song, which is pretty good. I'd listen to that. I like that song.
You can find it just looking up like the Funny Games music. But it's pretty much all just public domain stuff, and then that song.
Yeah. The intro was a lot of fun. We're driving around, transitions with the music, and it has big, giant, Funny Games font appear, boom, in your face.
Yeah.
But they get there, and then their neighbors, it's at their summer home, and their neighbors are acting real standoffish because there's some weird white people in like white clothes standing next to them. And they get to their house, and then their dog's going kind of crazy, and it just launches right into it. I expected there to be a little bit more build-up. But this movie's about 2 hours long.
Yep, and they make you feel it.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it felt like... when we got to what I thought was the ending, I realized, oh no, we still have 45 minutes left.
Yeah. No, I mean, they definitely... Like, this has been described as basically an anti-horror film. So you've got to go in there with, like, that kind of expectation.
Yeah, because the vast majority of the murders and kill shots... aren't off screen.
Every single one is off screen except for the gunshot at the very end. Yes, and that's because it's we already said spoilers. So the reason why that's shown is because it's against a non-innocent. All the violence against innocents isn't shown.
Yeah, okay. So this movie it's just white people. God damn it. Fucking starts off with they're kind of like pushing and shoving their way into the building there. But hold on a second. So when we're first introduced, though, they change names a lot, which is intentional. So I'm going to refer to them by the name that I gave them, which I'll explain later, which is Evil, Papyrus, and Sans.
Yeah.
Evil.
I like Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, Sans shows up, and he's with their. I believe their brother Fred, and he's there. He's like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" And then were both of them there, or was it just Fred?
The other family.
Yeah, because they were both there when they first saw them, and then they're really standoffish and weird.
They probably killed off the wife by that point.
Yeah, but they go in there, and he keeps asking for eggs and breaking them. And okay, so what was the symbolism with the eggs breaking multiple times and all that? Because at first
I thought just handed off those eggs, and it will have all been avoided. I
think it's just a dumb excuse to have the evil people go off on them. Because at first I was thinking like, okay, I wasn't sure how grounded in reality this movie was, because it's like, okay, these people are all crazy, it's going to slowly build up, and then oh no, it rockets off right from the start.
Yeah.
It opens up. They establish that these are bad people by having them kill the dog. And then be real weird and clingy and not, like, normal.
Well, I mean, home invasion is, like, an actual genre, so it seems like it's going to launch off into that. But then it doesn't. Because
he kept looking around the house, and I was expecting, I'm like, okay, they're going to run off around the house, go between the different floors, because it's a big, fancy white person house.
Maybe booby trap?
Yeah, they're going to, like, booby trap it, and they're going to go through and
they're going to put, like, a can of paint on, like, a string, and maybe, like, toss it.
Yeah.
There actually is a horror movie like that coming out now. It's like a Christmas-themed Home Alone, like, gore movie. Yeah. I forget the name, but I just saw the trailer.
But as we're introduced, they just start... Like, it opens up, the husband tells them to get the fuck out. They don't, because they just give us the eggs, bruh. Just give us some eggs.
Yeah. Hand on over those silky white little round orbs.
Yeah, and then eventually he slaps him and tells him to get the fuck out. They hit him with a golf club and break his ankle. Or break his kneecap, I think.
Yep.
And then it just goes right from there, just rockets forward. And the movie becomes the family trapped in here by these people. And the wife, Anne, is the... God damn it. She is... Okay, there's always that trope in horror movies like, oh, why didn't they just do this, or that? Why didn't they do? And this is the only time I've ever been like, come fuck on, lady. And this one I thought was one of the things the movie was trying to push until I realized what the movie was later on. Yeah. I was like, okay, is it supposed to be like the wife is just super passive and not doing anything, or what the fuck's... I don't... And I understand later why she did it, it's because of the fucking. We'll talk on that later. But there was like, I just have in my notes. The most prominent ones are white people, and I have that underlined about 17 times.
Yeah.
And then the wife is a dumb fuck who deserves to have her family killed because she's stupid and doesn't act and like make any effort to stop these people from killing her family.
Yeah, well, do you still feel that way after seeing the aftermath?
Kind of.
Okay.
I mean,
that's kind of Haneke's point.
Victim blaming.
Yeah.
You know, maybe she shouldn't have been so easy to kill.
Yeah, exactly. Look, strutting around with her legs all looking for a knife in them.
Yeah, but they're two. I don't. They're not exactly brothers, but they remind me of the Menendez brothers too.
Yeah,
still
yeah,
Menending.
Maybe.
You know.
Yeah, no, we don't get really any backstory on them that isn't made up.
Yep. There's very, very long shots, very long protracted shots without the camera cutting, without anything like that. Yep. As they watch, because what the movie happens is that something bad happens, and then you don't see what happens, but you see everything that follows after it.
Yeah.
For example, they break the dude's leg, and then they have a very, very long shot of him like trying to get up with a broken leg. Or and we'll cut forward here to at one point the kid gets their son breaks out. Georgie breaks out. And then he runs away, and he ends up fucking everything up because he's a child. And
he pees all over, and he's leaving little wet puddle marks because he was in the lake too.
Yep. And then eventually they get him again, and and this is where I realized what the movie was doing was so they have all the family there, and then they shoot the kid.
Yep.
And during that entire thing, there's like NASCAR commentary playing over it, which is silly and dumb and bleh. But kid's killed, and then and then they just leave. You know, allegedly, they just get up and leave.
No, they do.
Done.
They drive away.
Yeah, they just get up and whoop, there we go. And you see the wife, and this is a very, very long shot. How long is it?
It's over 10 minutes.
Over 10-minute shot of the wife. You see on the right side, there's blood splattered all over the wall. On the TV, there's blood dripping down on it. And you see her slowly try to get up and try to take the duct tape off. And because I expected the movie to end there with her like, oh, well, that's weird. But then it just keeps on going and going and going and going. You see all the aftermath of all this crazy shit that they were doing.
Yeah, it's like the little Energizer Bunny.
Just keeps on going and going and going, which I didn't expect at all. I expected the movie to be like, okay, whatever, and then, that was pretty, like, wow. My shoulders were arched the entire time, because it was a thriller. There's a lot of crazy shit going on. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then, like, well, you get to watch this lady struggle to stand up with her arms and her feet bound together behind her back as she tries to get up and get out of there, and then the dad gets up. I don't think the dad does anything in this entire movie.
No, that's the point. He's completely useless. He can't move his legs, or his leg.
Yep.
Yeah, he just likes to lay.
But,
he's just like me, though. He's a character after my own heart, because I like to lay on the ground, too.
So before we get to the part where the movie really gets weird and takes that quick turn, let's talk a little bit about the development with Joe.
Oh, okay. So, back in 97, good old Michael Haneke made this movie. And then in 2007, he remade this movie, shot for shot, for an American audience.
Oh, he was the one who remade the movie.
Oh, absolutely, yep. Yeah, it's the same director. He definitely has a point to this. So like around 2004, 2005, Saw and Hostel came out. In this Funny Games 97, it had a pretty big audience in the horror scene. Like, people knew of it, they really liked it. But he figured, okay, if I remake this right now and get it into theaters, this will be a direct line against Hostel and stuff like that. It'll be perfect. So they got the money together and he remade it shot for shot. Because he wanted the US people to see it.
Yeah, because, and what year was it? Was it 2007? 7, okay.
Yep.
This came out in the TF2 timeline, right around there. Not a lot of hats in this movie, though.
No. Oh, little Georgie, he got his hat knocked off of him with a shotgun blast, let me tell you.
Yep. Let me tell you about Georgie getting fucking blown away with a hunting rifle.
Yeah. But I mean, this movie's basic premise is that by watching this movie, you are directly complicit in the events that are unfolding before your eyes, basically.
Yeah.
So, because they turn around and wink at you and stuff like that, which is cool.
Yeah, the evil papyrus looks at the camera and is like, hey, don't you want an ending to this? Wink!
Yeah.
And she does that like 4 goddamn times.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is one of the first movies to really do it like that. I mean, there was meta stuff before, but...
Yeah, I had a very Cabin in the Woods feel to it, because Cabin in the Woods came out in 2011, I think.
Yeah, 12-ish, I think.
Yeah, much later. Yeah. And I saw, of course, I saw that one first.
Yeah.
And so I already had a little bit of an idea what they were trying to pull with that stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, there's been older stuff like that, too. I mean, there's Scream, which is a big one.
See, I saw Scream when I was really young, and I imagine if I watched it now...
Probably, yeah, all the meta stuff went over your head.
Yeah, if I watch it now, I'd be like, oh, I understand now.
Yeah. No, actually, the first Scream's pretty good, but I don't know how well the sequels hold up. Because all the people come back and the Wes Craven directs and the main writer comes back, but I think it was kind of diminishing returns with that. And old Wes Craven's actually dead now, too.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah.
Unlike that Roger Ebert fucker.
He doesn't care for horror movies, really.
He does not. Didn't he give 0.4 out of 5 or something?
Yeah, he gave Funny Games US a 0.5 out of 4.
He just doesn't get it.
Yep. So basically there's a little film that came out called Silent Night, Deadly Night. It's about, it's a slasher about this guy in, a Santa suit, killing people. And then, it was, Roger Ebert, basically, he gave, a list of, credits. No, this is Friday the 13th, not Silent Night, I'm mixing them up. For Friday the 13th, he gave, a list of credits of everyone involved in this movie, and then he read it off, and then he just said, shame, after every single one. And then for Silent Night, Deadly Night, he was involved with, a lot of protests for that movie, too, and, yeah. The line was what's next? A movie about an Easter bunny that rapes children?
Guarantee that movie was made.
Yeah, not back in the day, but it might have now.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone says something like that, you're gonna make that movie.
Yeah. We got let me tell you, you give me $50, I'll make that movie.
I'll give you no dollars.
Well, I can't make this movie then. I'm gonna need a bit more producer.
But so let's talk a little bit more about the meta stuff here.
Yeah.
There's the hammer over the head obvious now. If you didn't get it before now you understand it. Parts was it's near the end of the movie. The wife gets the gun and shoots Sans. She shoots Tubby, and then he's like, oh, and then he shouts hey, watch out! After that, and he's like, oh shit! And then he goes into the couch, pulls out a remote control, and rewinds the movie.
Yep.
And then I'm like, oh, okay, I understand it now. This is actually a retelling of the video game Undertale by Toby Fox.
See? Yep, we gotta give it to the Pope.
Yeah, we gotta give this movie to the Pope. And
that dirty old rotten scoundrel, we should give him a condom to put on his dick while he's fucking dead children.
Yeah. I stopped paying attention halfway through the sentence, but sure thing, Joe.
Cool.
But, I mean, as I was watching the movie, once I realized that this was actually just evil Papyrus and Sans, it all made sense. Anne, the wife. Toriel, George, the useless piece of shit. It was Asgore, Georgie, Azrael. Because remember in the game when you shot him with a shotgun?
I haven't played the game.
Good. And then you had evil Papyrus and the tubby guy Sans, who kept looking at the camera like, wink. And then just boom, look at this. Look, if you take a step back, look at the plot of the movie. It's just Undertale. 1, white family leaves civilization. In the game, they went with limited
animals in the woods.
Yeah, animals in the woods. Limited color palette. So in the game, it turned skin was yellow, but that's just because it was made on a NES.
Yeah.
Undertale was
they're going for the retro.
Yeah, and then Undertale was made on the Nintendo Entertainment System, and then they're rebuffed by the people there. I think there was pie in the fridge at one point, and then evil Papyrus breaks the meta, and then you start a second playthrough at the end of the movie. And the number one thing,
do it over again.
Number one thing I realized as the credits were rolling, I saw Michael Haneke. What's an anagram of that?
Oh,
Animal Cheeky.
Oh,
cheeky animal.
Exactly.
Toby Fox. I cracked your code, motherfucker.
Yep, you got him.
I got that son of a bitch. It was
we're gonna have to make an email to him.
Funny games. Undertale,
exactly.
Funny boom, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Get on the floor and jam. I solved this fucking case.
We're going to have to write him email letters. Just long emails.
Yeah, I'll start an email chain. We'll show that fucker Toby Fox.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a movie that was very, like, my shoulders were hurting at the end because I was kind of like hunched up because it was it was really stressful movie.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I wasn't really, the only movie we've watched so far that made me actually spooked was Zodiac with the Lake Barisio scene.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, for this one, it was very, very high. It was a very, tense situation the entire goddamn movie. It never stopped. There's never a moment to breathe.
No, whenever I watched this movie, and then I went back, I was going to rewatch the US version, and then I got up to, like, halfway through the egg scene, and I just stopped it, because I knew I wasn't going to do this again. And then I watched the original one, but this is, like, only my third time watching the movie again.
But yeah, I mean, this, a lot of these movies I end up liking, have really long, protracted shots, and I wonder why that is.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you're filmmaking, you gotta just keep the camera on the subject.
Always be filming.
Exactly. That's what David Lynch did with Inland Empire.
I never saw that movie.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if that one would be a good one for that or not. It's like a 3-hour nightmare, and then there's an additional 3 hours of scenes.
An additional 3 hours?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, I think we're getting a little off topic here.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to mention about the movie, Joe?
So basically, the point of the movie is that if you watched it, you are guilty. You sinned.
Literally. Oh, okay. Well, I don't really know how the idea of you going through and letting these things happen just for your own sick entertainment, I don't know how that's connected to Undertale.
Yeah, but you didn't stop the movie. You didn't hit pause.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's just. I don't think that's really part of. I think that's just a weird coincidence.
Yeah. Spec Ops the line. You could have stopped the game. Yeah. No, I really love funny games though. It's a really neat, like, kind of anti-horror movie that you don't get too many of them. Because the director, he basically hates like torture porn type stuff, and he wanted to show you exactly like what he thinks you're watching, basically.
Yeah. So I've never liked shit like Saw and Hostel either.
Yeah.
And so this was it was an interesting movie. The way they handled everything, did not expect it. It was 2 hours long, and golly gee, did I think this movie was going to end 3 different times. Because, this is where the horror movie ends. One person is left alive.
No, they just toss her. She's like tied up, and they just throw her in the lake and let her drown.
Yep. See, and even then right there, it's way, way, way earlier in the movie, you see a knife get left in the boat. Yep. And so you think, oh, okay, she's going to escape, and they're going to fight on the boat, and she's going to get him. And then end of the movie, she's got it, and she's cutting the things off. Not even, like, cutting the camera back to her. Tubby just turns around, grabs the knife, and throws it in the ocean. Or throws it in there. Nope. Throws it right back in there.
Yeah.
And then, whoop, throws her over while talking about parallel universes and matter and antimatter.
Yeah.
Which, I was making a mental jerk-off motion at how fucking silly that was.
Yeah. Well, you provided me a blanket, so I actually was just kind of jerking a little bit.
I had a feeling. I didn't want to bring it up.
Yeah. It was just a thing where I was just touching it a little, and it got a little bit hard, but then I stopped touching it, because I know I need to be respectful.
Yeah.
During the podcast sessions.
But that'll do it for this episode of Best Boys. I'm not sure how I would rate this movie. I enjoyed Zodiac more, but I think that's just because it was more of a straightforward movie.
Yeah.
If I was more of a
Zodiac
horror,
is meant to be entertaining, not grueling.
Yeah, because this movie, I felt bad while watching it. Not as bad as I did at the end of Oldboy, because that just made me feel icky and gross.
Yeah.
This movie, I just felt like, oh, fuck. Jesus Christ. Whew.
Yeah, no, and in terms of, like, extreme cinema, like, I mean, Oldboy and this, like, don't even rank.
Oh, I'm sure there's some fucked up stuff that you've watched, Joe, that you're going to subject me to in the next part of the Best Boys Spooky Halloween Spooktacular. That's a Joe crow.
Yep, exactly. And let me tell you, because it's a scare crow.
Joe, if you don't stop, I'm going to gag you and throw you into the lake.
Oh, no, actually, I hate water. I'm afraid of the rain.
So the next movie we're going to watch is probably just going to be a movie about an evil rainstorm. So look forward to that next week.
Oh, it's going to be wet. Oh, yeah, I'm getting wet. I'm moist.